Welcome everyone to the 8th StakeHound Ask Me Anything session. This is Albert Castellana, CEO of StakeHound, and I'll be here every week with a conversation with an industry leader to discuss the state of the industry, staking, and DeFi. StakeHound brings staking and DeFi together so that you no longer have to choose between earning from staking or earning from participating in the booming DeFi applications. Thanks to StakeHound, you're going to be able to trade a one-to-one representation on any staked proof of stake token on Uniswap or borrow against them on tools like Aave or Cream. Today with us is Katrina Daminova. Katrina is head of product at Copper. Before joining the team in early 2020, she built a career in financial services, then as well as technology. And she was educated at the London School of Economics and has worked on the trading floors of Goldman Sachs, UBS, and Leontech. Welcome, Katrina, to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. Like Copper is always, Copper is one of the most important pillars for StakeHound, right? We've got that while we're storing the assets that are being staked, they need to be stored securely, right? We've had many kind of looks into how we should be doing this. There's different approaches, right? Like as I was telling to you before this conversation, you could do this through multi-party computation, like on a public network, but we didn't decide to do that. We decided to actually use an institutional grade custody provider such as Copper to make sure that the funds were completely safe, right? So I would like to kind of have a discussion to get our viewers to kind of understand what the value of using an institutional grade custody provider and essentially just for them to understand like what this partnership actually entails, right? Could we maybe start by could you tell us a bit about yourself and what brought you here?
Yeah, of course. I do hope that the internet connection is going to be stable because it was freezing. I'll start. So Katrina, head of product at Copper. I look after the delivery of features. I look after our roadmap, and I work a lot with our development team. So I'm speaking to you out of our Moscow office, where our devs are based. I also work a lot with our other teams. We are based in 6 offices around the globe in Europe, Asia, and America. And we are Copper, award-winning crypto custody solution. We essentially are a 3-year-old company, expanding rapidly around the world, and I have a pleasure to work here. My career actually started in traditional finance. So I was on trading floors, and I was exposed to various asset classes. I was a salesperson for equities, then fixed income, and then I moved into derivatives. And then I changed my career into consumer fintech. And then since then, I've been launching innovative products to consumers.
Cool. So how did you find Copper? Like how did you get to know it, and like what made you passionate about it?
Yeah, so I've always had this passion for crypto, and Copper is a rapidly growing and a very interesting place to work. We are growing rapidly, and our client list is growing rapidly. We have about 50 people. And our client list is rapidly expanding. We are backed by institutional venture capital firms, including the Mayor of London. And essentially, we are an award-winning crypto custody. Our clients are extremely sophisticated. We are servicing crypto hedge funds, layer 1 protocols, exchanges, prop trading desks, and others. And our clients trust us because of our great reputation, the security, and the efficiency of our services.
So how could you kind of explain to people that maybe are not so familiar with what a custody solution is? Like what are the benefits of using one? Like why should people be trusting their assets to Copper?
Yeah, of course. So the biggest institutional investors in crypto are entrusting their assets to Copper because of the most secure solutions that are available on the market. This is something that we've built. I can expand into technology. a bit later. But on top of us using multi-party computation to secure clients' assets in cold storage, on top of that, we are also insured, and we are ISO 27001 certified.
That's good. So how, can you tell us what like a bit more in detail, I guess, like
Yeah,
what that means, I guess?
Yeah. So client funds are held in cold, segregated vaults. There is no private key. Therefore, this key cannot be compromised, and there is no single point of failure. For each vault, instead, we have 3 shards, and they are created simultaneously but independently. One shard is entrusted to Copper, one shard is entrusted to the client, and the other shard is entrusted to the client's trusted third party. You would require 2 out of 3 shards to sign and broadcast a transaction. Therefore, if, for example, Copper disappears, the client's assets will be recovered anyway, because the client would have the shard and their trusted third party would have the shard. Therefore, mathematically, it is not possible to have client funds disappear. And we offer various types of solutions, like different types of combinations of how we can put these shards. But essentially, it is the most advanced and the most secure solution that exists on the market at the moment. We provide custody for over 150 assets. These are ERC-20s and various blockchains, and we are expanding this list rapidly all the time as the client demand grows.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons why we chose Copper as our custody partner was essentially because of you are very keen to kind of adapt to our needs in this case, right? Like we had Bitcoin there, but at the same time to be able to stake it, right? Which is another thing. Like how do you see all the staking market? Like how does Copper kind of work with stake tokens?
Yeah, of course. So we are great innovators like you guys, like StakeHound, to build a bridge between staking and DeFi, essentially connecting the 2 separate ecosystems so the clients can have high yields. I've seen the yields on Zcoin, on staked Zcoin, is over 18.6%, which is quite impressive. On our roadmap, we also will be working on NEM, so staking XEM tokens, again, for you guys. And when there will be the snapshot in December, these also will be symbol tokens. So our roadmap is essentially expanding together with your roadmap, and hope for the future. Bringing investors an ability to get that yield, which is not attainable in traditional finance.
Yeah, so like, I don't know if you have any kind of thoughts on, like, from your kind of expertise on traditional finance, of what do you think that DeFi will mean essentially? I don't know if you have any thoughts on.
Yeah, of course. So DeFi, we have seen rapid growth of DeFi over the last year, and especially the last 6 months. We, as the infrastructure provider, we will carry on enabling new innovative apps to build solutions, and we will always be that security provider so that consumers can benefit from innovation and high yields, at the same time making sure, like, having the peace of mind that their assets will never disappear. In the future, if you think, far ahead, you could almost see yield farming for central banks when those issue their own digital currencies. So that is the future of DeFi. And us as Copper, not only we work as this infrastructure, as the rails, we also are launching Copper Connect. So Copper Connect, which I'm pleased to announce, will be launched next week, and it will be the first bridge to Ethereum apps, which will be working with MPC secured vaults. So there are other browsers, browser extensions on the market, which can connect and can call smart contracts and can work with various DeFi apps, but they're using hot wallets, which are online wallets. We, on contrary, are going to have similar browser extension, which will be working with copper vaults. So again, this is MPC technology, and to broadcast a transaction, you would again use the secure vaults, and you would use the shards, etc., etc. And this browser extension will be compatible with most of the big DeFi apps which are there in the market, and will be compatible with all the smart contracts. So all the Uniswaps and compounds of this world, that will be a solution for our clients.
That's very good. That's very good. I mean, like instead of like using, I mean, I am an avid user of, say, for example, Ledger or Trezor, right? Like, and it's like the experience of being participating in DeFi while doing that, it's very, very difficult. So knowing that you have, the copper set up behind, so that all these transactions are secure, for sure is gonna be a very, very pleasant experience for sure, right? Like we're looking right now into obviously like what happened yesterday about like Ethereum 2.0. And like essentially people are ramping up to start to understanding what liquid staking is, right? Like people until now were just dealing with their Ethereum, just like trading it here and there, and now they're going to have to be choosing, like this competition that we're constantly talking about in this channel, which is essentially between the staking and the DeFi. The moment that Ethereum 2.0 comes live, and like we're almost there now, then what's going to happen is people will actually have to be choosing what do they want to do, right? So liquid staking solutions are actually going to be much, much more important and much more highlighted, just because people, will immediately have to choose their positions on this, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how to use Copper Connect in this environment. Like we see how we can actually use it to stake ETH 2.0 and like to use the whole of DeFi infrastructure essentially, right?
So you can actually do the first trial as soon as next week when the browser goes live to the clients. At the moment, I only have it on my PC, but it's a very exciting launch, something really pleasant, and looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. Is there kind of any specific use case in DeFi that kind of most excites you? I mean, like if it was especially on something like a stake token, right? Like, is there something that you find that's truly kind of interesting on that front?
So I believe that DeFi has become and will become in 2021 a real competitor to traditional financial systems, because that will be able, like people will be able to earn higher yields than any of the traditional financial services are offering them. So I think, because I come from traditional finance, in my perspective, that is one of the key developments. And this is why we're going to have a wider adoption of the whole crypto fintech ecosystem in traditional finance. And speaking of Bitcoins, and speaking of crypto adoption overall, 2020 has been a crucial year, because for the first time in history, you can see that corporates are now buying up Bitcoins as a treasury reserve. So you can have companies like Square, like Stonebridge Holdings, MicroStrategy, and they are essentially buying BTC to hedge their cash reserves against inflation. And in this current climate of macroeconomic uncertainty, of coronavirus pandemic, so it's a market full of black swans in 2020, and we can see that blockchain and cryptocurrency is becoming the hedge against this market turbulence.
Yeah, like the race is on, right? Like all these different, like publicly traded companies having their reserves in Bitcoin, that is a big move for sure, right? Like the whole world is going to be starting to notice crypto altogether, right? And they will need to find a very good place to store their cryptos, which is something that usually like requires very big infrastructure. Like I think it's very impressive that you have 50 people just working on making sure that assets are secured, in an institutional kind of approach, right? Yeah, it's for sure a very important component of the whole ecosystem. So how do you see copper like in the market, right? Like what do you expect to see the position of copper to be?
Yeah, so we will continue to be the infrastructure provider, but we're building so many auxiliary services which allow clients not only to store their assets safely, but also to use them. So we are expanding Copper Clear Loop, which is which is a tool to instantly delegate funds to exchanges, various trading venues, and instantly trade without actually depositing any funds to the exchanges. All funds remain in custody while still you're doing your arbitrage trades between various venues. That eliminates the counterparty risk between between the clients and the exchanges, and that will be one of the core reasons why more institutional investors will now participate in such trades. On top of that, we have built a collateral management system for crypto derivatives, an idea that we borrowed from the traditional finance space, but will work really smoothly in this space as well. We have also launched margin trading facility, as well as various settlements and execution services. So our roadmap is expanding with the client demand. And as I said before, 2021, I think we will have more interest from traditional financial players to enter crypto, and we will see more adoption from their side, and they will essentially tell us which new features they're looking for.
Yeah, like from StakeHound's point of view, right? Like, for example, Clear Loop is a very clear way for us to maximize the arbitrage as well between the different between say, for example, staked Zcoin and Zcoin. Well, now it's staked Fido and Fido, right? This is actually something that will be for sure very good for people that are, for example, providing liquidity on Uniswap, as they will be getting many more fees than they would be otherwise, just because it's a very simple system for people to be getting in and out of these positions and just profiting from this happening, which it's good for the arbitragers. Creates fees for the people that are providing liquidity, and it actually makes all these tokens much more usable, just because there is much more liquid pool of capital to which they can tap on, right? It is essentially like it's kind of the fundamental piece that right now we need to be building from the StakeHound's perspective, right? Like we have, for example, we launched Stake Zcoin. Now there is about like $200,000 or something like this in liquidity on Uniswap. What we need to do now is just like find a way so that people, are more incentivized to provide liquidity, right? So providing liquidity is something that's completely new, right? Like people, you can't do that easily, with traditional finance, essentially, right? It essentially is the democratization of market making, essentially.
Yeah, totally.
And that, yeah. To me, that's essentially like the most impressive feat of DeFi that I've seen so far. It's this one, essentially, because like we're talking that instead of Binance or Coinbase making the money, you can allow the communities to make the money themselves just by providing liquidity, right? Then the thing is like, what do you actually need for that? And one important factor, of course, is a lot of trading volume to be happening. And of course, if there is much more ease or arbitrage, then the trading volume increases, the fees increases, the fee increase, and the whole system starts to blow up in a way, right? So yeah, I'm very looking forward to have kind of these aspects of kind of like this partnership between Copper and StakeHound kind of be kind of executed upon, so that all these affects the market and people start to see how important this is, right?
Yeah, something I love to boast about is the speed at which we develop and send into production new products. So every time we're extremely sensitive when we see some client demand. So as soon we can see some client interest, we're already working on this, and I am extremely proud to work with the team that I'm working here. Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we very much appreciate kind of like your help on this, because like, you know, some yeah, it could be done much more slowly, and it would not be possible to do what we're doing here. So absolutely. So
Yeah.
are there any kind of upcoming new, like any like you mentioned quite a few developments that you're working on? I don't know if you would like to expand on any of those. I mean, I'm quite curious about the derivatives one, for example. But like, are there any other kind of upcoming events there that you would like to highlight?
So totally, it's the launch of Copper Connect next week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will be a brilliant, brilliant new feature. As I mentioned, Clearloop is getting more and more venues connected. And the collateral management system has been already used throughout the summer. So what it allows essentially clients and market makers to post collateral into secure copper storage. And essentially this collateral is being monitored during the time of the trade. Could be an option, could be a combination of various strategies. And the client still has their assets sitting in their vault, but these assets are frozen. So they're not able to withdraw them. But the market maker can have the claim on the assets. And depending on the terms of the deal, then the market maker, for example, would be able to claim these assets. So what is important, because we have this combination of shards being distributed between clients, Copper, and the trusted third party, it means that the clients cannot run away from the deal. Same with the market maker, they cannot withdraw the funds that do not belong to them. And there is this feeling of trust which enables to even execute such trades, because in the past, such trades wouldn't make sense because there was no such secure storage which both counterparties could rely on.
Interesting, because like, I mean, we're seeing this type of use cases like in DeFi, right? Like then like, how could you like what will be, you think, the driver of this feature versus what you have on DeFi essentially, right? Like, how would you explain to people that are interested in the feature but like they're thinking, okay, like can I do that on DeFi or not? Like how?
So essentially, our systems at Copper are extremely malleable, and everything fits in together like a jigsaw puzzle. Our system can be recycled and features can be recycled. So if, for example, there is a feature which is applicable to a certain set of clients, of course, we can rejiggle it and allow another set of clients to use it in the most appropriate way. This is how the system has been built, and it is extremely secure. So like security is our, like the pinnacle for us. It's
Absolutely.
our biggest value. Do you think there will be any questions from the audience or not? I'm just wondering.
I'm not sure. Normally what we do is we invite everyone to kind of send us questions through the week, and then we kind of put them in the AMA.
Yeah. I'm checking
Just
as well.
double checking that now. So can you, like, you mentioned as well about the staking. I know that you're working on kind of bringing more staking tokens online, right? Like, do you have kind of a roadmap of that? What are the next tokens that will be staked?
So our roadmap is ADA, that is Cardano. In the future, it is, of course, NEM. And essentially, we are sort of after 2021, depending on the client's interest. And actually, staking ADA will be the first time we're participating in this. So we will learn a lot from this experience. And when we have this knowledge, then it would be super easy for us to implement staking DOT, for example, and other tokens.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Sounds good. Like I'm just like looking forward to seeing all these different products online. like, you know, we're working very closely, as you know, like we're going to be doing NEM, we're going to be doing DICE as well this year. Then there's going to be the symbol that you mentioned before. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for sure. And as well, like, you know, with all the developments as well on the Ethereum 2.0 camp and everything that happening there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see like all the things that we can do. So, well, I think we've come to an end of this AMA. Like, first of all, like, well, thank you very much, Katrina, for joining today. It's good to have you, and it's good to talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, and well, I simply just want to invite everyone to, you know, join our community, join our channels, like, you know, ask questions. Like, we're happy to repeat this, and like we're gonna be here every single week, just, you know, talking to people like Katrina that have broad experience on the industry, that can teach us things that, you know, probably you wouldn't be asking anyone else, right? Like, I'm sure the point of view of someone that's running a custody service is something that's very to me very interesting to be able to tap on, right? So yeah, thank you all very much, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. Bye, Katrina. Bye.
bye.